How many of us know that God is not in awe of our magnificent structures? He's not astounded by our palatial buildings. When King David gave Solomon all the gold and silver that he had to build the Lord's temple, he said, "We are only giving God back what is already his." These great men built magnificent temples as an outward expression of worship to glorify God for the substance he had given them. It was, and in some cases still today, an honorable gesture. But let me ask you, if these great men built these marvelous temples to glorify God, then what did his one and only begotten Son build to glorify him? Jesus said, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up." When he said this, he was referring to his body as the temple. He also said again to Simon Peter, "On this rock I will build my church," referring to Peter as the rock. The most magnificent, marvelous, palatial structure that can glorify God is you. It's me. It's us. We are the church, and our lives are our ministry. Hi. In First Chronicles 17, David had in his heart to build a house for the ark of God. And Nathan, as a matter of fact, the prophet said he said in verse 2, he said, "Do all that is in thy heart, for God is with thee." He got it wrong. God told Nathan to tell David, "No, you're not going to build me a house." And that goes to tell you that although we have things set in our hearts and we have our plans, God's plans are always greater. God told David, he said, "No, you're not going to build me a house." As a matter of fact, he said in verse 10, "I'm going to build you a house. I brought you from tending sheep to be a king. I'm going to build you a house. And not only am I going to build you a house, I'm going to set your future. I'm going to prepare and set your future uh, uh, up, basically." But here's the amazing thing that uh, God said, and it's what David recognized in verse 16 and 17. First Chronicles 17, verses 16 and 17, he says, "And David the king came and sat before the Lord and said, Who am I, O Lord God, and what is mine house that thou hast brought me hitherto? And yet this was a small thing in thine eyes, O God, for thou hast also spoken of thy servant's house for a great while to come, and hast regarded me according to the estate of a man of high degree." David said, who is man? Like in Psalms 8:4, he said, "Who is man that you are mindful of me, that you set us just below the angels, but has given us dominion over all the works of thy hand? Who am I, O Lord, that you regard me in the estate of a man of high degree?" How he sees us greater than we can ever see ourselves. I recall in Jeremiah 29:11, he says, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, plans to prosper you, to give you an expected end, hope in the future." God's plans for us is greater than any plans we can have for ourselves, because he sees us in a much higher degree than we can ever see ourselves. There are many plans, many are the plans of man, but the Lord's plans prevail, right? So there are plans that we have set in our hearts, and I'm not saying they're not good and thoughtful plans, because David wanted to build the house for the ark of God. Nathan said, "That sounds great. Go ahead and do all that's in our heart." But God said, "No, no, I have a better plan." So although we have plans in our heart to do, and they good and well intentioned, consult with the Lord. Consult with the Lord. I promise you, his plans are far greater and far better. And they'll lead you to a place you could never imagine, because not only will it be an outside fulfillment, it'll be that inside thing that you don't know that needs to be filled. He gonna fill that too. There's this Jay Will did a video on imposter syndrome, and a lot of people from my community, in minorities community, walk around with imposter syndromes as if they're not good enough. Even when they get the education, the degrees, and the experience, sometimes you still feel, because of your upbringing, you're not good enough to be in that circle or that room of high class people. But it's not according to your degree, it's not according to your experience, it's not according to any of that. It's according to the purpose God has set on your life and how he sees you. David said, "You regard me as if in a state of a man of high degree. You see me far greater than I can see myself. And when I follow the plan that you have for my life, where I will be is far greater than I could have ever imagined." That's my word of the day, children of God. Your plans for your life, although well intended and good, can lead you on another path, and it can be harder than it has to be. But when you're on the path that God has set before you, and what he has designed for your life, and you walking in your purpose, it could take you places you never thought you could imagine. Thank you guys for joining. Always know that I love you. God bless.